Hello and welcome back to the Open Sorcery. It's Devi, and I have my wonderful, wonderful friend back with me, Raven.
Hello?
And we were having a conversation. We're just like, shit, okay, yes, we are recording this. So we're
Yeah.
talking about our experiences as empaths and channelers and things like that when it comes to actual connections to other people. Especially when it
It's a
comes to romantic
it's something to think of much.
relationships.
Yes. It's talk about a living maze.
It is. It is. So you were just talking about getting messages for like Uber drivers and then like forgetting the entire interaction. So let's start there. We're going to backtrack to where we were and then just keep rolling.
Just this has happened so many times where I will wait for, my Uber driver, even just on the bus, especially on public transportation. Oh my goodness. Um, I will go on to the bus or even get picked up by the Uber driver. I'll get in the car, I'll settle in, and it's as if just a certain switch is suddenly just like hit, and I will start talking to the Uber driver. And it's not that I remember what I say, it's I remember the feeling of what I'm saying. I remember
Yes.
how I'm feeling, whether I'm feeling sadness, whether I'm feeling anger. And when you channel into a certain energy, it's the vibrations of your throat chakra that I feel all the way down to my solar, that my whole body just vibrates with my voice and my vocal cords. And it's very interesting. But those are the things I remember. I do not remember what I actually say. I don't remember how much time has passed. I don't even remember I'm in an Uber, where I'm going, why I'm in this trip. But then I'll get dropped off. And I'm even able to say, have a nice day and everything, because there are times where I come back into it and I hear them responding to, "Oh, yes, thank you. Have a nice day as well." But I remember nothing. It's like the minute that door closes or I get off that bus and those doors just close right behind me, I remember nothing that was said. I don't even remember what the driver looked like or the person
Yes.
that I was talking to looked like. I, I could be talking to myself and look like a crazy person. I don't know.
No, seriously, same. Oh my gosh. I don't feel it down to the solar plexus because I find that that's where like my break is. But heart chakra all the way up to the top. Yes. Vibration up to here. So middle of the chest all the way up to the crown of my head. 100% feel that vibration. Understand like I got you. But it's like once you're done, it's wiped clean. No, I go into automatic mode like that when I'm driving and it scares the shit out of me because and I've kind of touched on it briefly. Um but a lot of times when I'm doing something that I've done like millions of times, right? It is I kind of zone out into it while I am driving, which I have to kind of like pull myself back into awareness because people are fucking scary and I'm not looking to get in an accident. Your girl likes having all her limbs. I'm good. Um, reasonable. But it will be that I will lose chunks of time and then I end up in the parking lot parked and I'm just like, I remember none of how I got here.
To my mother, because I do not drive. Some listeners that might be new, I am legally blind, so I cannot drive. I was born with a thing called inaridia, just means abscess of iris and a few chromosomes.
Mhm.
So I cannot drive. But I have seen people actually zone out in front of me. And there was one time where we, where my aunt and I drove through an actual dimensional rift, and the area looked completely different, and it was between these two stop signs. It started at one stop sign that had no street name, which we found very odd, and then it ended like we knew we were back and out of the rift when we saw the next stop sign that had a street sign on it.
Mhm.
and was saying the street names. And it was very, very interesting. So I've seen people zone out. I've experienced that drive through a dimensional rift where you can feel that it's off and you can feel like
Everything
so
prickles in
many
your
different
body.
things.
Just everything.
Yes.
All of the hairs stand up on my
But
body. I'm just like,
also,
this is wrong.
yes, exactly. That's what I was about to say. Like something is telling you to get out.
Mhm.
The dimension, every time I've traveled or something, I tell people all the time, the dimension is trying to kick you out. It knows that you're not supposed to be there, so it will try its best to kick you out. And so you feel that sense of dread and that fear because the dimension is honestly trying to protect us most of the time.
I don't know if it's the dimension itself, like almost seeing us as a foreign body, almost like a foreign body reaction in like the human body, or if it's our own guides like trying to pull us back and like, no, 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 you don't go there. But
That's
I
true.
know those happen all over the place and they pop up at random because nothing is completely solid in this universe. We are all just a mass of moving atoms. And that is even with, rifts and veils and whatnot. They move, they do things. It just, I can't fully explain it. It's just the way of the world. But with having this kind of extrasensory pulse, I would say, just this, like, this extra sense going on. Um, Relationships with people. So like we know our relationship to the world around us, we're just a little extra sensitive. Our radar just goes ding 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 a little bit more than others. But when
Yes.
it comes to other people, it goes ding 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 a
Right?
lot.
Yes. There is no such thing as saved by the bell at that point.
No.
That's when you know something has activated. You're not being saved, you are being pushed into something completely new.
Yes, absolutely. So, how would you say that being an empath, being extrasensory, has affected your? Uh, let's just start with friendships.
Oh, are we talking about the ones that I'm still friends with or the ones that I'm
I
no longer
mean,
friends?
whole encompassing thing. Let's talk whole encompassing thing.
I will say that in the beginning of friendships, it was very hard for me to actually form a friendship because a part of me knew that I was not meant to stay in the lives of a lot of people that I met. And so I would always be attracted to the people that were alone. I didn't have any kind of shyness. I was not socially inept or anything. It was just I was only attracted to the people that were ever alone, and I would talk to them, I would interact with them. I would then become friends with them, but a part of me knew to not fully commit to the friendship. And I only say commit just because a part of me knew that I would have to leave or that
Mhm.
they would be leaving me at some point. So it definitely took me a while to really understand what a friendship is and how it should feel like. It should not be something that you are planning to leave at some point.
I still struggle with this. I still struggle with this a lot because I feel like I am a guidepost in the lives of a lot of people and I can make genuine connection, but there is no attachment there. Um, and it's kind of heartbreaking and it's very isolating in a sense because I'll have a lot of people that come to me and they're like, "Oh yeah, that's one of my best friends." And I'm just like, "Where?" Uh but I feel bad saying it. I really do. But at the same time, it's just like I know that this is something that's going to completely fade away, and that's okay. It's supposed to. And so I don't form those attachments with people very easily. And I keep the people that I actually consider like genuine friends, I could probably count maybe on two hands, if that. Um, because I don't let those connections stay. Because one, I'm not going to anchor somebody down. Nobody's going to anchor me down in that way. And then I know that it is not something where we are going to just continue down this highway of life on the same path. It is going to diverge. You're going to be busy with your stuff. I'm going to be busy with my stuff, and that's fine. And it's leave in love. That's fine.
And I will say that it's funny. I know we are not speaking about these things out of coincidence because coincidences do not exist,
Yes.
only inevitability. Earlier today, as a psychology student, we always learn about the different meanings behind plants, objects, things, the way that your mind is framed and the way that it works. Today, I did a little test for one of my psychology classes called Abnormal Psychology,
Hmm.
and the professor gave us 6 dots in different colors. One was white, one was red, yellow, green, blue, and I believe the last one was black or pink. And essentially, you had to connect 6 people that are important to you to these colors, whether it was intuitively or logically. It was all up to the individual. I I took forever. My intuition is very strong, but I was looking at these colors and I full on was isolating everything around me, focusing on this color, and I could think of nobody to connect with any of the colors, not
Hmm.
even my own mother. And it was just because I have the emotional connection to these people, but at the same time, I do not.
Hmm.
I just can't think of these people, uh, or at least revolve myself around them 24/7 and think of them so quickly because I know that one day we will be disconnected. When my mom passes away, I will slowly forget about her because that is what's happening with other family members that have passed. I slowly forget about them
Hmm.
because they are no longer here. I no longer have that emotional connection to them. And so it is very interesting when you see it applied to real life in such a real way. And I only wanted to
Hmm.
share this in case anybody else is experiencing this of the friends and the family members you have, you do love them really and truly. But if they do not pop up in your head 24/7, or they do not pop in your head when somebody asks you who is who is your most important person in your life, but you can't think of anybody right away, despite you having friends and family, it's okay because that is what I am experiencing.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. And as like we'll put like the caveat here, like, yes, we are friends. You and I are really good
Yes,
friends,
of
but
course. Yes,
we know that we're going to go in different directions. So it is all leave
exactly.
in love, and we understand that. Yeah, we're going to come back together a couple of times, and it'll be fine, but this is like one of those prime examples. But I think it's more so we come in understanding that everything is impermanent when it comes to relationships and the connections that we have. And so, yes, it makes certain things very precious. Um, Now, I know for me, because I already have children, I got my babies. So that's a little different. I already created my little moons that go around my planet, the planet of me. So yes, for them, those are my immediates. But in terms of friends, I know that there is a divergence point,
Yeah.
and those divergence points, as as people who can kind of see the network of where we're traveling, it can get a little depressing because you see it, um and you love the people that are around you and you want to cling to them a little bit because don't leave me, I love you so much. um and it's hard, but we got to practice that non-attachment, right? Just to prevent ourselves from getting hurt. And I know it can seem like extremely cold, and everyone thinks that I'm like so cold. I can be so lively and loving and everything, but I detach the moment that I'm away from you. And it's just like, that is ice cold. How can you be that way? It's just like, because I understand how the world works and I understand how this works. And if I am constantly obsessing and just am missing your presence every time that you are away from me, I am not living.
That. And I definitely have struggled with this as well because, as you said, when they are present, when they are here, that is when I feel the most as well. But people used to really come hard on me when I would tell them, well, we haven't spoken for the last year or 2 years. So I no longer consider you a friend. And they used to be so hurt by that. And seeing them hurt me twice as much. I thought that I was being this huge a hole.
Oh, yeah.
I
You
thought
feel like a
I
jerk
was
in
the
those
problem.
moments.
And it really took me some time to just realize it was because their definition of friendship is different from mine. And I
Mm-hmm.
now explain to people I no longer consider you a friend when we are apart, but that is because we have not interacted or anything. But then once we come back together, we start hanging out and talking, I will consider you a friend. But the minute you stop talking to me all over again, you are no longer my friend. Once again, I will
Mm-hmm.
consider you an acquaintance. If you are drowning in the middle of the ocean, I will do my best to save you, but I will do that for a stranger as well.
Yes. And I think the one that people don't seem to understand the most, I will say, is when that happens with family. Because they're like, it's family. You should always be there for family. Um,
Right?
those that, you might not know. I have not I have not seen my father since I was 14. I have not spoken to my mother since 2020. Yeah, no, 2020. The end of 2020. That's when I cut her off. So, like, I ain't got anybody besides the ones that I made. And my divorce just got finalized. So, don't got nobody on that side either. Just me and my crotch goblins. That's all we got. But I don't find that weird. Um, I don't find that strange because the connections were meant to drop. The anchors are no longer there to hold me back and hold me down. And it's just continuous growth. Um, and I see that as the way up and out versus let's stay drowning. And a lot of people don't seem to understand that because it's like, that's family. Everything should come with family. You need to put family before everything else. And it's just like, should I?
Totally agree with that. And it's I feel like that is the same concept of when they say when when you are in a bind and you're on the edge of a cliff, would you rather save your mother or your child?
My
And
child, 100%. 100%.
that that is my answer as well. I would say my child. I would immediately.
Hmm.
And I don't even have a child currently, but to me,
Oh,
it
you can adopt mine. It's
that
fine.
child. God, oh, sorry, I forgot. I'm their godmother.
Yeah,
That's
your
right.
godmama.
Yeah.
It's fine.
And and I have little nephews and everything. So
Hmm.
I've always been really good with children. I've always been surrounded by them my entire life.
Hmm.
But I would say my child immediately. More so because I personally, at least with my mother, I know that's what my mother would want. She wouldn't even wait for me to decide. She would just let go of the cliff all on her own. I will be completely honest. But I also know that a child has so much more to live for, so
Hmm.
much more to experience and everything. So even if it was down to me and the child, I would also let go of that cliff
Oh, absolutely.
because I
100%.
feel like I've experienced enough that I'm satisfied. If I died tomorrow, I wouldn't care only because I feel like I have accomplished many things. Is there more I want to accomplish? Of course. But have I experienced a lot already? Yes. And so
Mhm.
if it came down to the letter, I wouldn't mind putting somebody else before myself, especially a child, where they
Oh
have
yeah.
so much more to live for.
Absolutely. Absolutely. 100%. And I'm very much the same way with that. I'm just like I've lived two lifetimes in the 31 years that I've got. Like let's I'm good. Promise.
Really.
Like if
And I feel
if
like
I
it's
needed
just
to go
because
for a kid to have that time, they can have my time. Go ahead.
exactly. And I feel like it's just because, back to the main, connecting to the main topic of
Mhm.
empaths, I feel that when you are an empath, you have experienced so many things. And I can touch somebody and I will immediately gain a memory. I walk into a house and I can feel the energies left behind by the previous owners and tenants within that house. I
Mhm.
can't even walk into Airbnb without knowing something that happened in the place. Like I just know who stayed there.
Mhm.
And I think it's with those certain gifts and abilities and things attached, you understand humanity so differently, as well as the individuals in
Yes.
a whole new different perspective and in a new way.
I wonder and this just occurred to me is I wonder if a lot of our ability to detach is because we see people better than people see themselves, where they are the sun and everything revolves around them. We're seeing everybody in the solar system like circling each other and seeing how transient everything truly is in a sense. And I'm wondering if that's part of the reason why we're able to love fully, commit fully, but then completely detach once it's time to go. Oh, I cannot hear you, baby. Oh, good.
Mhm.
We good?
Yes. Yeah, we're fine.
Technical difficulties.
Because technology just hates me most of the time.
I mean, no, it doesn't hate you. It's just being an ass and just like, I'm gonna make things more difficult because I like to see a struggle.
Exactly. Just like a child. Maybe
Just
it's
like a
because you were
child.
talking about children.
Maybe.
It's fine.
It's fine. It's all good.
It's definitely interesting to live this way and
Mhm.
with this kind of empathic lifestyle. Sometimes I question where I just like look up at the sky and I'm like, higher self, we need to talk
Yes.
because I don't know why I chose to be this way.
It's kind of bullshit though. Like,
Hold on.
can we retract? Um,
I feel like I read the contract without reading the fine print.
possibly.
Hold on.
Hold on just a second. No, oh my God, I completely understand that. But now we go to the heavy hitter romantic relationships.
Me from the one that's single.
Girl, same. Remember?
True.
So, experiencing romantic relationships while being an empath is interesting as fuck, and honestly, I think it takes a while to figure out because you don't necessarily know how to feed your own soul whenever you're younger. And I would highly encourage anyone who is experiencing more empathic abilities, wait. Learn how to feed yourself first, and then seek out that fulfilling relationship versus expecting somebody to know how to nourish you inside of a relationship, because you're going to get hurt, and you're going to get hurt really bad.
Yes, definitely. Mm. When I started my spiritual journey, the first thing that I became very much obsessed with was finding a romantic partner. Mostly because I heard, wait, I can manifest anything. So you're telling me I can like just put in a couple of codes and I can synthesize a man? Oh, that's perfect. So I
Sounds
I
horrible.
immediately I was the embodiment of naivete. That's all I can say in my defense. That is all I can say. But I was very naive. So I thought, oh, let's get started on this. And so I immediately started like finding love spells and so many other like just very stupid, very shizzy things. And obviously did not work. And or the guys that did come to me were the ones completely opposite of what I wanted.
Mm-hmm.
So now I'm more in tune. I'm definitely more connected with my higher self. And I have written down all the things that I want and all the things I don't want in not only a relationship, but also in a romantic partner. But the more empathic you become, the more people you meet, trust me, even if you do the list as well, which I do honestly recommend, I think it's a good way to get to know yourself
Mm-hmm.
and really what you want, it's going to change. That
Yes.
list is going to change so many times. And it's not a bad thing.
Mm-mm.
But from what I've learned, it is not a bad thing to change that list at all
No.
because you're just getting to know yourself in the process. And trust me, when you have too high of expectations, you can see it. Because when you write everything down of what you want from the partner, you then start thinking, well, am I also in that spot? I want my partner to have a car. Well, I don't have a car. So is that why I want them to have a car? So then I don't have to have one? You just start asking yourself those questions and it makes it
Mm-hmm.
a lot easier.
Well, it's also that's also a self-discovery kind of thing of, okay, are my expectations just because I have physical need of like a material object, or is it because this is what I'm looking for, like as of a relationship fulfillment type of thing, right? Um no, I would say going through my marriage and everything like that, that was hmm, that was a difficult growing process because I got married at 19. I didn't know shit. I didn't know shit about what I wanted. I didn't know who I was as a person. I wasn't solidified as a person yet. Coming off of, well, there's a story there in terms of childhood Devi and all of that, but we are not going into that presently. Um, but coming off of all of that and then getting into a relationship and getting a year in and getting engaged, and then there's a baby on the way, and 3 months later we're married, and just everything happening all at once. And I was just like, okay, awesome, cool. I get the American dream at 19. Awesome. Not awesome. Not awesome. It was a trap. It was a bear trap and a half.
Yes, the
I got
American
half of
dream
my
is a
ass bit
trap.
off. It's
Yes.
great.
No matter what class I have taken, philosophy, psychology, economics, every single class has said, don't go for the American dream.
No,
You don't want to go for that. It was a trap made by those in higher power of the time, and it's about making your own dream,
it is.
not about going for the American. Trust me,
Oh,
it is a
absolutely.
trap.
Oh, absolutely it's a trap, but at the time, like, I didn't know better because your
Of
brain
course,
is not
yeah.
fully solidified, is not fully grown up until you're what, 25, 26 years old.
Where's that?
And that's when like you're fully grown and you're just like, "Oh shit. Oh
We are
shit." And by
busy
that time, 3
children.
kids in and it's just like, "Oh shit. I'm just now figuring out who I am at 31.
Yes,
I've just
yes.
found me. I'm blooming. This is my bloom time. Like so late, so fucking late. It's great. Um, but with that, with empathic connections to other people in terms of romance, what we need is another healer. Healers have to be with healers. And if your partner is not, you are going to run empty and you are going to continue to feel empty. And then you are going to have those extremely negative thought loops. And the person that you're with might not even understand because they can't comprehend it. They're not on the same wavelength. And if they don't understand it and they can't comprehend it, y'all are like speaking different languages. So how are they supposed to help you? How are they supposed to comfort you if they don't understand, right? Right? And as much as you can try to explain it to somebody who doesn't have the extra senses, who doesn't experience these things, who hasn't had issues that may be causing issues now, how are you going to get on the same page? Your base understanding is different. So, with empaths, with my healers, with my cups, I've always called y'all cups because we like to fill other people up, but we have to fill ourselves first, and we have to learn how to fill ourselves first. Be with somebody that grounds you, be with somebody that actually can hold you and help empty out that negative shit. Because if they cannot do that for you, if they cannot heal you in that way, they are not the one for you.
I will say as well that if you are somebody that has the patience to teach, I will say that you can be with somebody that is maybe not quite there yet, but it requires patience for them to meet you at your level and then even go a little bit higher. And then you guys can just keep pulling each other up, but you just don't want it to be one sided. As Debbie said, you definitely do not want it to be all on your shoulders because it will become exhausting eventually. But if you are willing to teach for just a little bit to bring them up to your level, that is completely fine. But you cannot force somebody to change that does not want to change. If they come to you saying, "Yes, I want to change for the better," then yes, teach them, show them how much better it is to be at the higher level of mind and body, and then work together.
Yeah. And I wish. In my experience, no, definitely not. But I still believe in it. I still believe that there is that out there for me somewhere. Um, I'll put it this way: I haven't given up. I'm not gonna give up because I can see it. I could see some semblance of where I'm going and who I'm gonna be with. I don't know yet. Haven't figured that out quite yet, but I feel it. My hope is not gone. And I don't think it should be gone for anybody that has these extrasensory feelings either. Yes, we are looking for soul connection or nothing. 100%. Because if you can't meet us in the soul, like, what? It's not worth it.
Me, the way that I see it now is I connect with my inner child
Mm-hmm.
because I feel that my inner child loves the most because children really do. Children love people and their parents and their family unconditionally until you give them a reason not to. And so my inner child is essentially waiting in the sandbox, building the sandcastle. The foundation's already there. And I'm just waiting for my partner, that other child, to enter the playground, come into the sandbox with me, and put that little flag on top of my sandcastle. And that is what I really will know when the connection is solid.
Oh,
Like, I know for
absolutely.
a fact it is meant to be when my partner comes to me and says, "Hey, I had a dream about being in a sandbox," or something.
Oh my gosh, I can't wait for that day because you're going to come on here screaming and then I'm going to start screaming and it's going to be great. I'm so excited. I'm excited in
And I'll be like,
advance.
"Hooray." Like, I'm waiting. My sandbox is open.
No, I'm just like I'm an extremely practical person. That's just who I am and that's I guess what helps me be mom to just so many people cuz I adopt everybody. That's just how I am. And so because I have to play mom for everybody and I have to process everybody's emotions and be that sounding board and be that guidepost, I like 100% like girl, I need a daddy.
I mean, that's understandable. I've
It
tried to
is.
be the mother, but in the end, I'm just like, I'd rather be your teacher. I'd rather
Yeah,
be
no,
your
if
guide. I
mhm.
want to be that old blind lady on the top of a hill with a really cute little shop and house that the traveler just comes across when they need it, but
Yes.
then they leave after I give them their messages and their enlightenment, and then they leave, and they only reflect on me later on during their journey, during some heroic moment. They think of what I told them, and then they win the battle, and I feel amazing just with that. I'm like, yeah, you go, you fight that monster. Yes, slay,
Slay
slay,
that dragon. Yeah.
slay. That's all I want.
Yes. Yes, and I'm girl, we're building a duplex. Like
Yeah, that's all. No, they don't need to stay until the rest of their lives or anything
Mm-mm.
like that. No, no, you're just a passerby. That's all.
Mhm.
You just come in, I give you the advice you need, and then you leave, and you only reflect on me at some point in the story to where everybody loves the old blind lady because of what she told you.
Mhm. Absolutely. And it just I wonder honestly how it's gonna feel whenever the one pops in and it's just like, oh shit, he's staying. Oh shit, he's staying. Oh fuck, what am I gonna do? What is this?
And then that's the one that's going to be like, "Do you like sandboxes? Let's go to the beach for our
Yes.
first date."
Let's go to
And I'll
the
be like,
beach. It's like we're building sandcastles. I'm just gonna get the message. Devi, we built me a sandcastle. Oh my god, it'd be hilarious. Oh my gosh. But yeah, I think we're beating a dead horse with the relationships in terms of empaths and how that works, but um yes, it's a weird kind of attached but not attached at the same time. We are in this world but not of it in terms of connections because we can see them so broadly. Um but yes, buyer beware in terms of empaths. If we feel that you're not going to stay, don't expect us to be completely broken when you go. Any other thoughts that you got for me, girly?
I think we covered everything, I believe.
Alrighty. Well, this is my lovely co host for this one, Raven.
Hi, everyone. Lovely to see you again. I know you'll miss me.
And this is Debbie with the Open Resourcery. You guys have a fantastic night.